You are live. Amazing. Hey everyone and welcome. Allow me to also go live on Instagram. Amazing. Adding link quickly. Today is one of those days when I am amazingly chill about these sessions. Usually I'm always freaked out, like, let's prepare everything, let's have everything settled, let's, half an hour before everything is. I am just like gone in my small cave, aka this study, and I'm already starting. Today I am more chill. Also today it's going to be only half an hour, today's session. Just letting you know. Reason for that, it's better to have it just a bit shorter and for me to be more concise in my answers and get answered as many questions as possible, while making sure that also I'm going to distribute my time when it comes down family time and also these sessions. All right, awesome. So we are live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and also Instagram. Mic check. Everything works perfectly. Awesome. For everyone new here, welcome. This is my Ask Me Anything session that I have for ScaleWave, our Amazon Ads agency. I've been running these sessions since November, let's say. November, December, January, February, March, April, May. And we just entered June. So for the past 7 months, I've been running these sessions, and these are the most helpful sessions for whoever wants to learn about Amazon ads, especially the beginner questions. Those are the ones that we are going to answer. Simple reason. Back when I started 6 years and learned about Amazon and how to sell on Amazon and how to advertise on Amazon, I personally needed really these sessions, and it was not available. And don't get me wrong, I'm also all in for the latest AI trick for your Amazon ads and how to download the reports and how to do these magic tricks in order to help your ads be successful. In the same time, I also understand that many of you watching these sessions are really at the beginning, and you are sometimes even embarrassed to ask your beginner questions. And because of that, you might not be asking these questions. So the reason for me running for the past 7 months these Amazon ads AMA sessions, so Ask Me Anything sessions, and I'm prioritizing beginner questions, is exactly that's why we're doing this. So before we're officially starting, and I'm going to go through the questions that are submitted either via DMs, either via live messages. Let me see for today if we have a topic of today. I told you I was advertising that for today I'm very, very chill. And it's 30 minutes, and I am going to stay true to that. Okay, so today's session, the starter topic, because I have here a few ideas when it comes down to starter topics that I want to share with you guys before entering the AMA sessions, is do it messy, do it fast, iterate later. So this is one of the topics that was on my mind for a while. It's still on my mind. If you're a technician and if you have ever read the E-Myth Revisited, basically, if you're the person who is building the business actively and taking active decisions, and always you are the one who first is figuring it out, and then maybe afterwards that figured out, you can create your SOPs, and then you start to systemize, but still you are the one who's actively working in the business. This is for you, especially for you. Reason for that is because what I noticed is that if you're that type of person, again, yours truly it is, you're going to tend to overly be very hands-on in your business. What I noticed is that if you're going to be like that, you're going to perfect and iterate and perfect and iterate. And at the same point, why that is something that you should be doing, especially with your products, if you're selling products or in our case, services, right? Iterate. That is great. And that is also one of our core values. What I noticed is it tends to throw you in the mindset of it must be perfect. And there is the perfectionist rat race, I'm calling it, where you're going to over perfect and perfect more and more and more, something that actually you don't even know if there's demand for it. And something that I noticed, especially for the past, especially at the beginning of the business, when we started ScaleWave, it was that I'm going to create systems and processes and everything that is going to support the business. And then I did not figure out the sales part. And why am I sharing this with you is because they're kind of like, whenever you're starting the business, you're going to be in either of these buckets. One is you're just head first and you're just going to see how it works and you're going to do a lot of mistakes, right? So that is the way how you're going to learn. But also there's another way to learn, especially again, if you're a technician in the business, meaning you're going to be hands-on, doing all the processes, all the steps, everything until you can outsource that to someone. You're going to perfect so many things. And right now, if I am reflecting on my journey personally, when it comes down to ScaleWave, really important what I noticed is that I tend to over perfect something. So I created systems, I created the SOPs, how we're doing certain things and so on, and did not manage to first figure out, hey, while this is amazing and this is just giving me, better sleep during the night, and because I know that on the system side, everything is figured out, while that it's helpful, I first should or supposed to figure out the marketing and the sales aspect. And I did not. And that kind of ended up with, yes, we got a lot of referrals for clients, but in the same time, it was like, how do I make this scale even more and even faster, And that's just coming from me of reflecting to what are the things that I wish I would have done differently in my business. And if I'm tracking it back, it has to do with a lot with this perfectionist rat race that, okay, you're perfecting something, but then you again perfect it even better and even better. And you're going to miss the most important thing, which is, do you actually have sales for your business? And this does not matter which type of business you are in. If there's no sales, if there's no new clients coming in, if there are new leads, if you're not making sales, if you're selling physical products, then even if you're listing, and this is now an analogy to Amazon ads because we're going to go into it, you're listing your product, even if you're bringing you're making your listing perfect, if you're not bringing ads to the listing, so you're not bringing the eyeballs, it's going to be very hard for you to actually sell the product. So takeaway is the perfectionist rat race is real, and most of the time this is going to start with, hey, do it messy, try it, do it fast, iterate later, because otherwise what you're going to end up with, perfecting or over perfecting something that you don't even have proof that is going to work. All right, so that is the starter topic of the week, and now let's get into today's Amazon ads questions. Feel free to drop your questions in the comment section. We are streaming again on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram, so allow me a few seconds to make sure that I'm going to go through each of these channels and I'm going to see the questions coming in. Cool. So entering the Amazon ads questions, inserting above. Also, do you believe in rebirth? I do. Interesting question. I am going to leave this question at the end because it's not Amazon ads related and we have quite a few of them. But if you're staying until the end and if you're interested in Amazon ads, I might be answering your question. Ta-da. Okay, we have 20 more minutes to go. So the first question is, what are the smartest questions to ask before hiring a PPC agency? Okay, interesting question. When it comes down to smartest way, I'm not even... What is the smartest question to ask? I think it's alignment, way of communication, and if they did a similar process before, whatever your outcome supposed to be, and even if they did it on a smaller stage. I'm giving you an example. We just had, I think, 2 or 3 months ago with one of the brands that we're managing, and they are one of the largest clients that we have, especially on the US marketplace. And they were asking, they had this huge goal, on almost 4xing the revenue during a year, and it was two quarters in. So this was around May, March, April, and so it was a big, hairy, audacious goal, I would say. It's not that it would not have not been we would not had not been able to achieve it, but it's highly dependent on inventory, right? And with inventory, we had issues for the past 3 to 4 years because they're in and out of stock. And then it's like, okay, if we don't have anything to sell, then how are we going to increase revenue? Back to your question. When it comes down to before hiring a PPC agency, and hear me out, it's not only PPC agency, but any agency, I would say, is making sure that they had at least a similar experience with any other brand. And for example, even if we did not manage to increase revenue for a brand that big, we managed to increase revenue for smaller brands. And we knew all the strategies, and we understood that it takes us at least making sure that inventory is stable in order for us to grow. That was the biggest bottleneck that other brands did not understand, and the brands who did understood, they were able to, or we were able to grow their revenue. And here, what I'm looking for, if you're going to hire someone who, if you're going to hire someone who already is selling themselves or selling or marketing themselves as strategists, they should already have the knowledge on how to do whatever the outcome you are looking for, or how did they do that already for other brands. If you're going to hire someone who is more on the managerial side, so here it is what I've done for my Amazon ads, and then you just duplicate whatever I did, because now you're going to have this full-time job, that is a different question. So I think when it comes down to smartest questions to ask before hiring a PPC agency is zoom out for clarity and understand where you want to go. Because look, even in our business and other businesses as well, you're not going to hire only A players. I know that everyone is going to say, hey, hire A players. And what does A player mean, actually? An A player in my mind is someone who already has the strategy, who already done that before, and who is highly more costly than someone who have not done that before, someone who does not has the experience, and someone who's going to learn with you, and someone who's way less expensive when it comes down to payment. So it's going to be really important on you to understand where do you want to go, because there's nothing wrong in, hey, I want to hire you and outsource my managerial tasks. You're going to hire someone for that level instead of, hey, I want you to grow us to the next level. That is a different skill set for which you're going to pay sometimes 3, 4, 5 times more, just because they are bringing already their experience versus someone who you're going to teach your experience, and then they are going to manage at least at your level. Let me know if that answered the question. And I know that whenever I'm receiving these questions, I'm like always answering something different. I'm answering this question this way is because what I noticed is that whatever your goal is, for me, my goal can be totally different, but then both of our goals can still be correct to the level or to the season of business that we are in. Next question, how should I think about, is still Amazon agent. Okay, let's answer. How should I think about pricing and discounts when choosing a provider? I'm assuming here you're saying that asking for coupons, discounts, whatever, when it comes out to that. So this is tricky, and here, just hear me out. I had a love and hate relationship when it comes down to discounts. And right now, there's a specific way how we are ever offering discounts. If you do, previously it was like, no, I'm not going to offer any discount. This is my pricing. You might not understand right now the strategy and the systems that we're going to install in your business once that you are hiring us. But this is our pricing. So we did not never negotiate it down on pricing. Something else that I noticed is that once that already we have experience with the brand and we see how they work, how they communicate, we understand their level of intelligence when it comes down to ads, and their level of not necessarily intelligence, but emotional intelligence on how they are as the brand owner, then it might be sometimes the case when, okay, let's see, okay, can we offer you any discount? Can we offer you any coupons? Anything in order to, is it still worth for you to stay with us now that we understand each other better? And other times, what's going to be, hey, you've been with us for the past 2 years. Look, when you hired us, these were the scope. And right now we are doing way more than that. And look, I believe that we should be increasing. And then the price, that we are charging monthly basis. Or other times it can also be that you just grow as a business and you're charging more and more for your services. So you can actually grow revenue instead of just adding more, piling up more clients. That also can be one of these instances when we're saying, actually, we are not, no coupons, no discounts, nothing like that. We're still going to keep you, grandfather you in the pricing that we started. Sorry, I have some small insect flying in front of me. So we are still going to keep you at this pricing for the next 3 months, 6 months, and then we have to increase the pricing just because we've done so for all the other new clients that we have. Let me know if that answered. But generally, I would not offer any more discounts. What makes an Amazon PPC campaign effective? Love it. This is one of the most basic questions that most people are not asking because they consider that they know the answer. So what makes an Amazon PPC campaign effective? Zoom out for clarity. Why did you create the campaign? If there is a structure, specific structure for your account, if there's a specific strategy for your account, the campaign that you created must fall within that structure and strategy of the account. Example, when it comes down to ranking campaign, and just for context, ranking campaigns are the ones usually that we are using when we want to rank for specific keywords on Amazon's search engine, and ideally once that is highly relevant and people are purchasing our product with that specific keyword, then we're going to rank organically on the first page of Amazon. So ranking campaigns, for example, we are using this strategy, but we're not going to always start with these campaigns. Simple reason for that, in some accounts might not make sense. So if you have 10 SKUs versus if you have 1 SKU, for the 10 SKUs, you might be having, okay, let's create first a discovery campaign where I want to see, first off, which are the variations that perform, or which is the variation that performs best, and then you can start that variation and then you can advertise it for specific ranking campaigns. If you have the one product and if you know that that is the product that you want to sell, in that case, what makes a campaign effective is making sure that all the keywords that you're using are they highly relevant for that product, and making sure that you're also going to start exact matches and see what is the relevance on whenever you are going to run these exact match campaigns for whatever Amazon is going to rank your product for, So that's why I'm saying that sometimes a PPC campaign, to make it effective, it really, or not sometimes, but most of the time, in order to make a PPC campaign effective, it's going to highly depend on what is the strategy, why did you create the campaign, and if there's no strategy and if you just created a campaign to see how it works, that's still a strategy. That is the, winging it strategy, how I like to call it. And then that's also going to be the outcome. I'm not saying that you cannot be successful if you don't have a strategy in place. I'm saying that it's going to be very hard for you to, once that already picked up, the campaign picked up and it works, and then it doesn't work anymore, for you to figure out what happened. Let me know if that made sense and answer your question. Okay. So other questions, let me see here. Okay. Tell me how to run Power PPC on new launch, like campaign structure, number of campaigns, budgets. So this is highly dependent on what is your overall budget when it comes down to the product, how many products you're advertising, and then also what is the outcome that you're looking for. Because if you want to, you can start the one campaign, and if you have, let's say, $30 per day budget, you're going to create a different amount of number of campaigns than if you have $10,000, for example, right? So that's going to be highly dependent. And then the second thing, there's no like, hey, this is how to do it exactly, but rather than how much it would cost you if you find the highest relevant keyword for your product, And then you're going to run advertising on that in exact match. And then you're going to understand in exact match, maybe it costs you $10, one click. And maybe it takes $100 for you to convert with that one click, so 10% conversion rate. Then you're going to notice, okay, it takes me 10 clicks, so I have to pay $100 in order to make one sale. But what happens if your product is $20 only, So that's why I'm saying that most of the time it really depends on what are you selling, so the category that you're in, because based on that it's going to be how competitive is the bidding and the CPCs are for that specific category. Supplements, beauty, baby, those are highly expensive when it comes down to CPC. So in those scenarios, I would advise you to just zoom out for clarity and understand, okay, what is realistically my budget, and then how much would it cost me to run ads in exact matches for 5 of my top highest relevant keyword that are at least 3 to 4 words, so they're not like, if you're selling a bag, it's not just bag, it's like sports, women's sports bag, or something like that, something that's more relevant to your product rather than just a bag, Once that you figure that out, then you're going to see, okay, so I'm selling 5 products. Between the 5 products, how I'm going to invest the budget. And it might be that first you're going to start just with the one product, see how it works, and then you're going to go to the next product as well. So when it comes down to how to run proper PPC on new launch, like campaign structure, number of campaigns, budgets, it's highly dependent on how much, first off, are you willing to invest when it comes down to ads, and then 2, how much does it take you to invest, and then 3, how many products are you going to advertise. Let me know if that helped. And then you also ask, if we want to see SKU level profit, how do you do that? So there's, again, where we are going to prioritize Amazon ads, the profit level and the cost level for each product, each SKU in this case, you can do so in the product section. So once that you're logging in on the Amazon ads platform and you're going to go to your ad console and you're going to go to products, you can see on a product level each SKU, so how much each product is making, and also how much you're paying, like ACOS, sales, and spend for them. Let me know if that helped. Okay, cool. So next question. Let me go through once again. How do we stay on time? 23 minutes. Okay. How can I increase my sales using Amazon PPC? So the way I like to tell everyone what Amazon ads are, so Amazon PPC is a way for you to bring traffic to a product. Basically, if you're not going to first off bring traffic, and the way how we're bringing traffic is via creating new campaigns. If you're not going to create new campaigns, highly unlikely that you're going to generate eyeballs that might end up in sales. So first off, create campaigns, new campaigns. If you already have campaigns running, you would look into which is my best performing campaign and what is the keyword or what is the product that performs the best when it comes down to bringing additional sales to my product. So that would be the first thing. First of understanding that if you're running already campaigns, great, repeat the process. If you're not running yet campaigns, you would start running campaigns. Then the second thing is going to be, in what stage of your product are. Someone just previously asked me, how would you launch how would you run proper PPC on new launches? So having a new launch is totally different than having a product that already you're getting some traffic through it and it just you're going to scale it. So if this is a new launch, aka you never sold, and you want to sell more products, you would be bringing traffic, right? So for the launch phases, especially, it's going to cost you more because you're gathering more data, first off, understanding what works, understanding what doesn't work, and really more important is like understanding how much it's going to take you to achieve XYZ goal. Why I'm saying that is because you can have this goal of, okay, we are going to achieve 10,000 in sales, and then you're not willing to invest at least $2,000 to $3,000 in ads, So that's why I'm saying that's really important for you to know. Then once that you understood, okay, am I already running campaigns? Am I already running campaigns, or am I about to create new campaigns? That is the traffic issue. Now the conversion issue, the second part. That is really important because once that you already started bringing traffic to one listing or one product, if you want to sell it, will need to be relevant to whoever you want to sell it, right? So, for example, there it's going to be, is the traffic that you're bringing to the product even relevant to the product itself? And there we're going to face targeting issues. If the whatever you're advertising, for example, this is clear glass, I think this is 500 milliliters, I'm not sure on ounces, but if you're going to bring, I don't know, if you're going to target anything that is not relevant to their product, meaning if you're going to target, glass water bottles, seems to be the same product, but it's really not. How can I show this? Seems to be the same product that's going to fulfill the same purpose, but it's really not. Both, they are containers of waters, but this one it's also plastic. This one it's transparent. This one is also transparent. So technically, they are fulfilling the same need, but they are not the same product. And why I'm talking about traffic that is relevant or not is because most of the time what can happen is that you might be bringing traffic to the listing that is not relevant. So then it's going to be a conversion issue. Also on the conversion side, it's going to be once that you brought traffic to a product that is now converting, how do we increase the conversion? Meaning, if you're converting each time, if you're bringing, if you're making one sale, but it takes you 10 clicks to make that one sale, how can we achieve that? At least it's going to take us 8 clicks or 5 clicks in order to make the sale of the product. And then it's going to come down to listing issues or listing creative improvements, plus pricing improvements, plus is there an option to have a product that is FBM sold as FBA? So can you bring it into the Amazon warehouse and then sell it that way? Those would be the topics those would be the topics that I would look into when it comes down to how to increase sales. Now, once that you figured that out, really it's just repeat, do the same thing. So once you figured out how to maximize the traffic you're bringing to convert at the highest as possible, then you're going to say, okay, this is, let's say, in sponsored products. Can I maximize the same thing in sponsored brand, in sponsored display? And can I maximize the same thing this is for the one product, but can I maximize it for the next 5 products? So that is the way how we would be looking into it. You're welcome. By the way, I see that you are asking if we want to see SKU level profit. You can also do that on the business report side, because you were asking that. You can also do on the business report side to see on the Seller Central side, to go into business reports to see on a SKU level how much profit does each product makes. Okay. Next question. How do we stay on time? 29 minutes. Okay, let's answer at least 3 more questions. So we answered at least 10 questions during the session. Okay. This is interesting. Okay, why do so many Amazon sellers or Amazon brands fail with PPC advertising? I don't see it necessarily as fail. I see it as they have the wrong expectations. Why? And that has to do a lot with marketing, I believe, because everyone for the past 5-6 years since I am in this game of ads, and I'm seeing marketing for advertising, they are selling you on it's going to be cheap or it's going to be cost effective, or it's going to be very, very low ACoS. And then I would be cautious when it comes down to an agency or a service provider or even freelancer who's going to say that I achieved this amazing result at 2% ACoS, at 10% ACoS, at like very low amount. Reason for that is because that is helping you with efficiency. It does not help you with growth. If your sole purpose it is to be efficient, you can become efficient, but you still would need to increase your revenue. Because if you're not increasing your revenue, and if you're just simply are offering lower and lower amount of bid, in this case the CPC cost, for something that someone else is offering more and more and more, or even if they're keeping it at the same level and you're offering less, they're going to outwin you. They're going to outwin the bid. And why I'm saying this is because most of the time what I'm seeing is so many industry experts, and I'm quote unquote experts because you put the word expert into your actual title, that does not make you an expert. So many of marketing tips and tricks, and all this is like, how do you make more with less? And the thing that I'm seeing that most brands are failing is because they are, one, especially starter brands are failing, is because they don't understand that it's a math problem. You cannot outbid or you cannot bid less than the system requires for you to win the game. So once that you are bidding enough for you to actually show up on the search page and for people to click on your product, then once that you see that anything that is irrelevant, you can optimize further. But if it's going to come down to pay less and less and less and less, then you're not going to show up at all on the search page. And this is really important for you to understand, because most of the time I feel that especially brands that are newer and they're coming on the platform and like, this is the amount of money and I learned about living my 9 to 5 and creating this business and so on, they will not understand that. But this is not only them, also brands who are larger and they just don't understand how ads work, in the sense of they want to spend less and less and less, and then they are just going to take their set, like they're not going to be any more competitive in the marketplace that they are selling, or they're going to remove themselves from the market share they're having on Amazon. Next question, what is the real job of an Amazon PPC account manager? Real job. Interesting. So when it comes down to real job, again, I would be going back to the same question, similar to the first one, that it was, what is the smartest question to ask before hiring a PPC agency? Here, I would say the same thing when it comes down, what is the real job of an Amazon PPC account manager? Their job, their role, their position, account manager, implies that it's someone who can manage an account. The fact that someone can manage an account, it does not equal that they can scale, they can grow your brand. So these are totally different things. Why I'm saying this is, again, I learned it the hard way. Whenever I was looking for, at some point in my business, I was looking for someone to replace me when it comes down to strategy. And I was like, okay, let me hire you and I'm going to offer a higher salary. And then again, ask all the wrong questions, because you're at the beginning, and even if you hope that you're going to ask the right questions, you're still going to fail at some point. So I was thinking, okay, account management equals growing an account. When in case what I did, I just offered a higher amount of salary for someone who did not had my expertise. It was taking 1 to 2 years to get to my expertise even, and then I would have to teach them. So that's why I'm saying that when it comes down to what is the real job, it's really important. What are you hiring out for? Because no matter who you're hiring, even if it's an employee who's going to take over your ads and they're going to manage your ads, what is their skill level? Are they able to keep your account in a good shape? Brilliant, because they had already the skill set. If you're going to hire someone who has zero of the skill set and you have to train them, again, they have zero skill set and you're going to train them into account managers who are going to manage bids, create all the campaigns, create all the, maybe you have coupons, promotion strategies, and so on. So they are going to be able to replicate whatever you already taught them. And then if it comes down to account strategists, and they are going to be able to help you grow whatever you already had. This is really important because account manager and account strategies are not the same thing. Reason for that is because one needs to replicate whatever is already done on the account without increasing, but just keeping it, right? Giving you an example, if you're on a diet, if you're not going to eat XYZ, naturally you're going to lose weight. Naturally, you're going to stay in shape. Naturally, it's all those things are going to happen. But this does not mean that you're going to additionally extra workout to also build muscle, to also achieve the next goal, which is besides looking good, you also want to put on some muscle. So you're going to also be like more tone, more fit, and so on. So the way I'm seeing an account strategist is the person who's going to actually help you not only maintain that, okay, I'm at this level, but I want to grow. The account strategist, it's at that level. Let me know if that answers your question. Yeah, someone is asking something really interesting. Sabir, if you were here at the beginning of the session, great. But if you have not, I would highly recommend you to go to. Actually, this is very similar to what you answered. I'm going to go through the question and then I'm going to wrap up. But it's interesting. It says, I am an Amazon PPC and listing expert, but 4 to 5 months, I will try in getting a job, but still no one can interest. So probably you don't get anyone to hire you. Can you tell me any success plan? Yeah, so I'm going to be super frank with you. Right now, the Amazon, it's great that you acquire these skills when it comes down to Amazon ads and listing. And again, expert, I would ask, okay, how is your expertise? So how well taught, what are the skills on that level? Because I just explained a few moments ago, expert can also mean that someone is 3 months in and they're looking forward to, run an account, which again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that it's the level. But if you're asking me how to get clients and so on, that is one of the toughest part of the job, because especially in our industry right now, what I'm seeing even 6 years ago when we started, the industry or this part of Amazon was already very tough. Now everyone becomes an expert, and everyone, they're going to sell their services. They are either going to consult, either they're going to build their agency, and we are literally in a red ocean. Why I'm saying that is because if you want to still find someone, and at this point I'm not understanding if you're working for someone, so looking to get hired, or if you're looking to, or you're running an agency or like consulting business and looking to getting clients. But still, I am just here to tell you it's a tough business. Some of the ways that we are seeing this work, content creation. So these sessions today here with you, answering your questions or answering any brand's questions who are submitting their questions, it's one of the ways that you can get more eyeballs to whatever you're offering. Now, that is not anymore the same skill that you're selling, which is Amazon, PPC, and listing, but is, hey, are you able to answer someone's questions? Are you able to, see if you're relevant to them at all, because there's so many people who are providing the same service. So is you, personality, structure, systems, processes, whatever you are providing, is that something that they are looking for? Because that's also a good way to get new leads, new clients, maybe. But that is something that I'm seeing now. And again, many agencies who are already way more achieved, they already have that. So you're saying you have zero experience of Amazon bulk file, but I want to learn. Yeah, I also have content on my channel when it comes down to bulk files and so on. Elizabeth Green, also shout out to her. She has content on Amazon bulk files. So at this point, honestly, I think it's going to be for you getting experience. Just talk to even agency providers and so on. Tell them, hey, I want to learn. Are you willing to hire me and train me? That would be a good way. Right, we are 40 minutes in. Very last question is, how do I audit an Amazon PPC account properly? When it comes down to account audits, this is something that we've been perfecting for a while. And we are stepping back now for clarity, because what we noticed is that we are going into these super detailed audits on what is going on and what is working and what is not working. The most important thing is for us to understand where does the account stands right now, and then out of wherever it stands right now, what are the things that we can minimize and maximize. By minimizing, I'm saying, is there anything inefficient spend that we can right away stop, pause? And here, hear me out, because most of the time, whenever we are, we are even auditing accounts, and we are getting this, oh, there's so much inefficient spend. We don't know that yet, if it's inefficient spend or it's something that it's what the market tells us that that's what we're bidding for, that's what we are targeting, and it's not working for us. So inefficient spend, I would just take it with a grain of salt. But then the second thing is going to be, all right, on a product level, where we stand, how many products do we have? And then from there, we are going to understand, okay, where does most of our spend goes? Because if we have the 5 products, for example, and then for one of the products, which is usually what's happening, is that one is the hero product that is bringing most of our revenue, and the rest of the product are bringing some of the revenue. And then some of the times what can happen is that the product that's bringing the most revenue, we are investing most of our ads, but we are highly unprofitable and we are not anymore in launch phase, or we don't want to gain additional market share. Then we would look into, all right, does this still worth it for us? And then if there are any other products that we might be having additional stock on, so inventory, can we push those products? Can we promote those products? Do we have enough demand in order to switch the hero product into that one, So again, we would be going into way more detailed, way more in-depth, okay, in this campaign, how many ad groups are there? Are there any negatives? Are there 500 products within one campaign, and all the products are just splitting, and 2 or 3 products are performing well? All those, it's good to know. They are details that are, for us, important. So we will know, okay, this is the account that we are going to take over, and then what it's needed to be done on our end. But if it's for you to understand how to audit an account, is first off, what works well for the account, what doesn't work at all, what needs to be paused right away, and then which are the things that needs to be changed and how to prioritize those. I think that is going to be the most accurate way of doing this. Everything else, it's great to have, it's important to have, but as a brand owner, might be important to know just if you're going to switch hero products. All right, and that's a wrap. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you everyone for watching, both on LinkedIn, Instagram, and also YouTube. We're going to wrap up today's session. These sessions are live and are every Tuesday. As I was saying, for the past 7 months, we've been running these sessions. And yeah, at the end, it's really most important to answer these questions. If you're right now running ads on Amazon, and if you feel that, hey, you need a second pair of eyes to see what's going on, or hey, I just need someone to help me scale these ads and make more revenue, feel free to book a call. I left here in the comment section our strategy call session. Please note this is only for brands that are already selling on Amazon and or their CEO of the business, so they are managing the business. If this is for you to ask questions and so on, and you're just at the beginning, just super politely, we had at least, we had a few people taking this thing and just booking sales calls, and for other reasons, I'm here to tell you those are calls that we're going to be canceling. Again, just being super polite and upfront, and especially because this happened for the past 2 weeks more often than usual, so just letting you know. But if you're actively selling on Amazon, and if you're interested to grow your brand right now, and during this session you think that we would be a right fit for your brand, feel free to book a call, and we're going to go through the call. We're going to go and take a look at your account, and then if we are a right fit, we are going to be more than happy to manage your ads. Right, that being said, thanks so much for watching. See you next Tuesday, same time, 1 p.m. EDT, and same locations, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. Till then, be good, and happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday still. Yes, happy Tuesday. Take care. Bye.